Hello, I'm Carolyn Black-Sotier, and welcome to Kaleidoscope, your guide to the cultural arts in Harford County. The arts continue to thrive in our community, and here on Kaleidoscope, we keep you up to date on what's happening by highlighting local artists, featuring the latest arts events, and talking with event organizers. Let's get started. Did you know that the Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance nurtures and promotes the arts community in the Baltimore region, which fortunately for us means music, theater, and art support right here in Harford County? With me in the studio to tell us about the services the GBCA provides is Sonja Cendak, Grants Program Manager for the Alliance. Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you.
All right, so it's a little confusing to me when we say Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance. I'm thinking Baltimore. So why are you in Harford County, and why do you support Harford County?
Well, GBCA supports not just the city, but the 5 surrounding counties. We consider ourselves a regional service organization, and since its founding in 2001, has really expanded its membership to support both artists and organizations that touch Baltimore as well. So that includes Anne Arundel County, Baltimore County, Harford, Howard, and Carroll counties. So that's why we're here in Harford County, to let all the artists and arts organizations know about what we provide for the Harford County arts and cultural community. Okay. We definitely want to dispel the idea, that it's just for the city. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so thank you for being here today. So let's talk about, you mentioned that you provide a number of services related to the arts. I'd love to hear about some of them.
Sure, so we're a membership and advocacy organization. We're not related or affiliated with the city or the state, though we do work with them here and there. But we advocate for the regional community in Annapolis and at the region level. We provide professional development workshops for both those that work in arts organizations and for individual artists.
Yeah.
We provide grants and awards to individual artists.
Great.
We have a job board and a resource board, a call for entries and opportunities board if you're looking for applying for an exhibit or a festival. And we also have an events calendar called the Culture Fly.
And then you also sponsor minglers and...
Yes, and we have every other month an Arts and Culture Happy Hour that takes place in a different arts organization around the city and the region.
Okay.
Just an opportunity for the arts and culture community to see a new venue and get to know each other.
Oh, kind of neat.
Free wine, beer, and tours of the location, and it's just a great way to
network.
Yeah, network together. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I know that you have these, every other month?
Every other
month.
month.
You have one on February 9th. Which is pretty close to people who live in Harford County.
Exactly, and that's going to be at the Gordon Center in Owings Mills.
Right.
And we've never been out there before for a happy hour, and it's just a great way to check out the space if you've never been there, meet the executive director. We have all those folks on staff, will be on staff, and it's just a great way to
I mean, the Gordon Center is a fabulous venue, and I know that there are many Harford County artists who would love to perform there. So it's a great thing to attend and get to know some people.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I've been on your website, and it is phenomenal because so many of the things that you mentioned are great resources that you offer right on the website. Yeah,
absolutely, such as our Culture Fly, our cultural events calendar. So we have a free region-wide calendar that anyone can post to. You do not have to be a member, and you do not have to pay to get your event listed. And we get, 10,000 clicks a day looking for events that you can search for. If you become a member of GBCA, and if you're an individual artist, it's only $25 for the year.
What a
then
deal.
Your events get pushed up the line sometimes or highlighted in special mentions in our weekly newsletter, in our executive director's newsletter. But just to post your event, and it also allows you then to have a landing page for event. Maybe you don't have a web presence for something coming up. You can just post an event and then you have a permanent link until your event happens.
Okay, so we're going to put up the number where people can call and get more information. Now, I know you do many things, but you are specifically responsible for a program, and I'd love for you to talk about it.
Yes, so I manage the Ruby's Artist Project Grant Program, a relatively new program, 2 years old, that gives money directly to individual artists. Our supporters realized that there's a lot of awards of excellence in the region, like the Sondheim Awards and the Baker Artist Awards, which GBCA also manages. There was not much support for artists at the creative stage, at the idea stage. So the Rubies gives out grants to artists up to $10,000
Wow.
to support the creation of new artwork.
Okay, and we have a graphic up there right now. So the deadline to apply for the Performing Arts and Media Arts grant is Monday, February 29th. There's the website, and I know then you do in the summer a different
Correct. So there's a second
funding.
grant cycle. There's 2 grant cycles a year. So the next grant cycle for 2016 will be for visual artists and literary artists. So all the artists, all the painters, sculptors, writers, poets should check the website out and apply then for their $10,000.
All right. Well, I encourage all artists out there to talk to Sonja Cendak at the Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance. Thanks so much for being here and for all the good work you do.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You bet. Well, you'll want to mark your calendar now for a very special concert in February at Harford Community College featuring a nationally known jazz musician right here in Harford County. He does live, and the Morgan State University Jazz Ensemble. So we'll have all the details later in the show, so please don't go away because we will be right back. The 2016 Maryland State Legislative Session is now in full swing, and in the midst of all the political wranglings and issues, the Harford County Cultural Arts Board brings a nonpartisan and beautiful perspective to Annapolis with a special art exhibit featuring Harford County artists. With me to tell us all about the exhibit located throughout the hallways and offices of the Low House office building are featured artists Kostas Damalas and Jonathan West. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn.
And congratulations, this is quite an honor. I hope that it inspires our elected officials to join together and make a difference in good ways down in Annapolis for us both. So I ask you, Kostas, how many pieces of artwork are hanging down in Annapolis right now?
14 pieces
Wow.
of landscapes mostly.
Okay, so landscape is what your specialty is.
Especially, yes.
Yeah. And then, Jonathan, you have about the same amount of paintings, right?
I'm hanging still life paintings in this show, and they were made for a purpose for a show previously at Lyriodendron, but they're made to make you happy, and hopefully they'll cheer everybody up down there.
That's good. All right, let's, obviously, you bring to your art your experience, your life experiences. Kostas, you originally come from Greece.
Yes, I came from Greece.
Yes, because that is not a Harford County Bel Air accent I'm hearing.
No.
No. Jonathan takes care
try
of that, right? So tell us a little bit about your background.
I was born in Greece, in Peloponnese, not far from the capital of the Peloponnese, Patras, city of Patras, where I stayed there. And I was working in the day, and in the evening went to the school till I was 18 years old. In Patras, I met my first friend, who was an old artist, and he told me the basics about painting.
And so did you know at that time that you had some artistic talent?
Yes,
You
from
did.
when I was very young.
Yeah, and I know then you went to Germany and eventually ended up here.
And eventually I
Ended
came
up here.
And I was always painting, of course.
Yeah, and so what's interesting is you're both artists, but you have a very different life history. So Jonathan, share with us
I'm
a little
Harford
bit.
County raised, born and raised, Bel Air, Maryland, and Bel Air High School, class of '76.
Okay.
I went to college in Minneapolis, College of Art and Design, where I met my wife. And we moved back to Harford County, and had a son, and we moved to New York City, and for 5 years, where I pursued my artwork and made large abstract expressionistic paintings.
Yeah.
And currently still living the life, painting away.
That's good. Okay. So both of your artwork, I'm a huge fan. I had a chance to take some sneak previews of it before we came on air here. But I'm going to talk to you first, Kostas, about you primarily do landscapes. They're beautiful. So what inspires you to make that your focus?
As most of the artists, I do landscapes because I have the ability to use any kind of way of painting, from abstract to impressionism or cubism on landscape.
So the first painting we saw was obviously,
and
it looked like Greece to me.
Birthplace.
In your memory of. And then this looks something maybe more local?
When I was a merchant marine, I had the time to study the sky and the sea. And the sky still, it is the focus point on my landscape, the sky.
Okay, so we're seeing some water, some beautiful water paintings.
Because the Impressionist mostly inspires me, including, of course, Claude Monet, who painted many water lilies.
And that looks like a local,
and this is a local
landscape.
From my view from my house.
How beautiful.
The color they are in the spring.
And then you mentioned that now you're looking also on the sky.
Lately I work on series of bird paintings, flying or do murmurations. And also I write poetry because of the birds.
Yes, yeah.
And the published already.
And then your work is quite different. Let's take a look at some of that.
Okay, well, I'm making some still life paintings at the moment. That is my most recent painting that I made between Christmas and New Year's. And I basically go to the grocery store and buy some flowers and stick them in a vase and pursue the old genre of still life painting in a traditional sense and add a little modern twist to it.
I love it. And there's your beautiful, and this one we want to quickly talk about, and then we're going to have to wrap it up. But this was something that you were inspired by the latest events.
My work has always been inspired by tragedy and things that happen in the world, and that was inspired by the Paris attacks. And it's a 6-foot-tall painting, and it's my catharsis about the tragedy that happened. And I contacted the embassy to see if they wanted it, but I haven't heard anything
Okay,
back.
well, I think she will. So if you want to get in touch with Jonathan, you can, and take a look at more of his artwork. And also, Kostas, I know that people can reach you right there, a telephone number. But congratulations to you both. Your work is just stunning, and I so appreciate you coming and telling us about it and showing us some of your work. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Well, the Deer Creek Coffee House in Darlington is one of the county's best-kept secrets for music lovers. The intimate venue hosts leading songwriters and musicians year-round, and we were there for a recent performance by award-winning songwriter and singer Beth Wood. So let's get ready to rock. It's time to go out and about.
Down in the belly of the place where I face my fear, tethered to my sketchy memory, there's a little bird singing out, won't you set me free?
I always played music my whole life, and I knew I wanted to be a musician. I went to school for classical music, voice and piano, and had a realization that that wasn't the right fit for me. And right at that same time, I had picked up the guitar and started writing songs and discovering lots of singer-songwriters. And so I joined a band, and I sang in a band for several years, and then I started doing my own shows, and then just morphed into doing my solo thing.
I would say most of the artists that come here are award-winning songwriters and musicians. We've even had a Grammy Award songwriter here on occasion. The people that come here are avid music lovers of acoustic music and original songs and and songwriting. So it's a great community here.
I love playing to intimate venues like this where you can really connect with the audience, and there's not, crazy TVs behind your head, and it's a really nice environment to share music and share your stories. So I learned piano first and violin, and then I kind of taught myself guitar, which was really freeing in a way, because the possibilities were wide open. So Yeah.
And here I am, a stranger in a strange land. Well, it's just like they said it would be. And I can see that now from where I stand, all alone in front of the house that made me. This is the house that made me.
We support our venue through a combination of methods. We ask for a suggested donation at the door of $10 for adults and $5 for youths age 13 to 21. And but that's just a suggested donation. If for some reason a person is unable to pay, we'll just let them in, and maybe they'll contribute more the next time. I love this type of venue because it adds to the sense of community, the small tables and the candlelight. It's a good way of people to get out and just mingle with each other. So, and we serve homemade baked goods and coffee, tea, sodas, water, etc. We also have a raffle during intermission of CDs from previous artists. It's like a door prize type of thing. I have some mugs for sale, coffee house logo on them.
The ultimate moment that you wish for is the ones where you're connecting with an audience around a story or a song, and it's an exchange of energy. So when I feel like I'm getting energy back and also giving it out, that's the ultimate, and that's what I live for. That's why I fly all those miles and drive all those miles, and because it's magic. It's pure magic. If I meet a stranger and they ask me to describe my music, I usually say it's like James Taylor and Sheryl Crow had a baby.
The trouble with shoes is they